July 11th, 2024 meeting. Everyone had a chance to read those, and if so, do we have a motion?
Motion that we accept the minutes of July 11th, 2024, presented on the third draft.
Second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed, and one abstention? Thank you. All right, next one is the minutes from, or for the August 8th, 2024 meeting.
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from August 8th, 2024, as presented with the second draft.
I'll second that.
Okay, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, abstain. Okay, good, thank you. So the item here is site plan amendment. Park Drive Lot 12 LLC has submitted a proposal to amend the approved final site plan. Park Drive, apartments to adjust the sidewalk location and landscaping tax map R05/lot 1D-18 and 21D-19. And before we start, Chris, I just looking through your memo here, maybe I missed it. I had a suggested motion one.
On the first page.
Right, on the first page, and then it seemed like there was one other motion, but it called it suggested motion number 3. Is there number 2 in there somewhere?
Yep.
Okay. I just want to make sure we had
On the
everything.
last page.
Okay, well, no.
Motion 3. Oh,
So is there a number 2?
so it's really
There must not have been two.
Okay, so that, okay, I didn't think there was.
Okay.
So that'll be number 2.
Thank you.
Just want to make sure we were covering everything. Okay, Chris, please identify yourself and address, all that good stuff.
Hello, my name is Chris Flanger. I'm working on the Park Drive Residences project for Dan Catlin. The address of the property is 100 Park Drive. Basically, we have a minor amendment to the site plans. About a year and a half ago, we got 4 buildings approved. 99% of it's exactly the same, but we do have a couple, 3 minor updates we want to run by you and hope you get approved. First, we want to reduce in the back, there's a buffer between Mallet Woods residential and the commercial project. We have an existing mature buffer that's there. It's healthy, it's thick. So they went out a couple of weeks ago, took a look at it, and they didn't want, and there's a bunch of landscaping that we had proposed in that area, but we didn't want to take mature trees to plant new ones. So we're basically asking to reduce the amount of planting required in that area. We'll certainly infill plants where required, where needed, but we don't want to have to take good vegetation and replace with it. Second, we want to revise the sidewalk location along Park Drive. Portion of it will be located across the street. And we had some minor updates in the phasing plan. Just want to clarify the plans, what we're trying to do. Couple pictures of the site. You guys have seen this quite a bit, but if you haven't, I'll slow down. But this is the existing parking lot for Goodwill. And there was going to be a future 25,000 square foot building they would have built that didn't get built. So we replaced that, built apartments. This is the plan. You can see, maybe I can show it. Basically, up in this area here, I moved the sidewalk to the other side of the road. Next to the Goodwill building, there's quite a slope transition from the building to the road. So there'd be quite a cut by trying to keep the sidewalk on that side. So they had a discussion about moving it to the other side, and that's what we came up with. We talked about the buffering along the back. It's nice, healthy buffer, like I said, and we just want to reduce the plantings. And third and finally, we wanted to clarify the phasing that we're trying to accomplish here. Phase one, initially I had said, we're gonna build 2 buildings and that parking, basically everything on the Merriman side. At this time, we're gonna build the first building, and I wanna build the right-hand side of the parking lot on the Merriman side. We'll build the entrance, we'll build the sidewalk along Park Drive, all part of that existing first building. When I build the second building, that's really when I wanna rebuild the sidewalk, I gotta raise everything up to the door. So I don't wanna build that quite yet until I build that.
Just let me, when you refer to the right, you're standing at the building looking out from it because it's on your right over here.
Yeah, looking at the plan on the right side of the plan,
Me looking at the plan, it's on my right side.
yes, the Merriman side.
And then the other is the sidewalk. I don't know why I thought it was more in line with what it's doing, but you are talking the sidewalk on the other side is over or in front of Goodwill.
Correct. We are building the sidewalk in front of the apartment
So
as
it's on
well,
the side.
from Merriman Drive to our property. So there'll be a sidewalk between the pond and the road. Then once I hit the entrance to Goodwill, we'll cross.
Okay, so you cross before you cross that entrance.
And that's really all I have for tonight. I'll certainly answer the questions, but
So do we want to go with the application complete?
So I'll make a motion, move the planning board concurs with staff's conclusion for the final site plan application materials have been submitted. Application is complete such that the board may proceed with a substantive review of the application identification, any further information.
All right, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? So motion number 1 is unanimous. Okay, so why don't we kind of go to any questions or whatever people have for this?
I had one point of clarification.
Okay,
Since we're amending the approval, they can have another year to start.
That'd be my question, Tim.
Because obviously it'd be better if we could have that year. When we get it approved, we have a year to begin and then another year to complete. So if we're amending it, just that time box.
I'll have to look back and say.
You just take a look at it.
yeah, maybe let us know as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so what you like is the clock start with this amendment.
Right.
So I guess, Carrie, do you have any questions?
So the sidewalk right now, there's no sidewalk there at all.
There's no sidewalk.
So in front of Goodwill is kind of like a hill.
Right.
So you're gonna go on the other side and then is that gonna continue down towards
Eventually,
access dental and all that?
but Dan's only building to his lot. I mean, towards Topsham Road is,
But when you say that either direction on this side, in way of the apartment complex is on the inside, this side,
the apartment side will have the sidewalk on our side.
which is lines up on the other side. Where he's crossing over is in way of Goodwill.
Okay.
Yeah, one thing, when
Danny, I know you would identify yourself.
Dan Cameron. Sorry, so I was just gonna add one thing. We did meet out there with town staff. You guys are probably aware of that. And back in 2004, there was a motion by Mr. Bisson to gravel that sidewalk all the way down. So we've got a sidewalk adjacent to the pond, and we didn't want to lose all that work. And also, we have a bus platform that we wanted to keep as well.
Yeah, so just point that out, because I think I know what it is, but
Yeah, I'm trying to,
It's small in this picture, but it's
you see
there.
that circle?
It's just
That's where the bus platform is. It's to the right of the existing entrance.
Yeah.
So that's where I wanted to cross.
Yeah.
Everyone can be confirmed.
okay, so you line up with that.
Yes.
And show me where the sidewalks, just curious.
Okay,
main road and then there's the side road, right?
Starting here, that's new sidewalk, all the way up to here, we'll cross, then new sidewalk again, all the way to the front,
On the other side.
But on the other side,
but on the other side.
so that's just gonna be one little strip on the other side of the road?
Well, it's gonna go all the way to the market basket. I'm gonna build it to the property line behind Goodwill, and then the town, is
It's gonna go around the corner, right?
is gonna take it to the Goodwill corner.
So
I'm sorry, the market basket.
that goes down to where the stop sign is, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it stops in front of Goodwill and then you cross the street and then it continues, or is that gonna go all the way down?
If we're starting on Merriman Drive, which is the right-hand road, we're gonna have a sidewalk on the south. I'm sorry, the east side,
So the
Running.
closer to Goodwill. On
running
that side.
parallel and close to the apartments.
Mhm.
And when I hit the second entrance for Goodwill, I'm gonna cross the street with a crosswalk. We'll build the sidewalk.
Can we bring her back on this side? Cross Merriman. I think that's what she was asking.
No, actually, I'm just really just curious.
Hmm.
So when you get to the end of Merriman and you take a right, you go towards Topsham Mall,
Oh, yeah,
is there going to be a sidewalk there or not? You don't know, I mean, I know that's not part of your project, but
Well, we hope so someday. I mean, there's been a lot of talk.
I think ultimately that is the plan.
yeah,
Take the sidewalk all the way down. And at this point, he's making the sidewalk to,
and the only reason you're switching it to go on across is just because of the,
the steepness of the grade, I think, is really what they're concerned.
We'd have to put a wall in.
Ah.
About this tall. And then Dennis brought up a good point too. It's like you gotta throw all the snow uphill. And then when it melts, it's gonna come back down across the sidewalk. So it alleviated a lot of problems across the street. And then, like I said, the town manager and Dennis were talking about, they're gonna make the connection from the property line to market
and
basket.
then, so they'll carry out the rest of the way on that side of the street.
Right, on that side of the street.
so my only suggestion or just my thought is why not keep the sidewalk all the way from the end of the road, all the way down to the end of that road, if it's going to be built, have it all on one side.
Big gully
There is,
on
all right,
further up the road from when that sidewalk.
Okay.
I know,
okay, all right, that makes sense then.
But this does give a lot more, total than it gets you on the other side. So, okay.
And you mentioned, discussions with the town, is one of the it's from peer review engineers, that it was gonna, by doing this, would significantly increase the cost of to connect the site. But the town is okay with this now. That was.
And I highlighted it in mine as well.
Well,
And I don't know why versus the other.
That was a peer review engineer in this.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he wasn't there when we did the site. But Dennis and, our contractor, Jeremy Ward, talked about a couple different cuts and fills on that side of the street. And they didn't seem to think it was gonna be a big deal. When we did get to staff review, Tom did bring it up that he thought, he went and looked at it that morning and thought it was gonna be a little more expensive going on that side, but Dennis and, the town manager seemed fine with it.
Different topography on that side.
Yeah.
On the Goodwill side.
There's a cut and a fill.
There's already a sidewalk along there.
There's a sidewalk on here.
It comes along and then it just stops at the corner.
Plus, there's a pole and a hydrant right next to Goodwill that have to be moved.
If we kept it on the east side.
So just to follow Scott's just back in these reviews. The fire department noted the proper fire rescue access would be required during phase one. I assume you don't see any issue with that.
Not at all. We're gonna build the new entrance as he requested on the Merriman side. And then when we will build that parking lot on the right-hand side and reconnect the existing pavement so you can circulate the building, just as a dump.
Which is what he needs. All right. Anything else, Pat?
No, I mean, I think the other landscape makes sense. Or it's filling in what needed in the understory.
Thanks.
Okay. Larry, do you have anything?
Yeah, well, two things. One on the landscape, I can't remember from the original plan approval. We have you doing a landscape architect or consultant.
With Mitchell Razor is the landscape architect. He did the plan initially.
Yeah.
He was at the meeting, the site walk that day. So he did update his plan and noted to infill.
So that's now in our approval, if we, assuming we approve.
The plan is not in the packet.
And second question, so you're talking about a crosswalk across Park Drive, and you've heard this before, Chris. I think about the last meeting. Something for pedestrian safety with a, pedestrian light.
A flashing light,
Flashing.
like you mentioned on the Village Drive.
Yeah.
I hadn't anticipated that here, but,
And people sit right on it.
yeah, and because it was solar related, you're not extending electrical to the site for that purpose, but
Yeah.
I haven't really broached that subject with Dan yet, so.
I think it'd be a really good idea. There should be one, like we have down here.
What, I listen to a lot of money, right?
Well, I don't know, if I priced anything out, so I'm just kind of,
And listen, I agree, they're great, and, I don't know, I think there's a lot of other places in town that the traffic would rise to the level of having that before. But, and that's,
Well, I think people are sometimes avoiding the rotary, the roundabout, in order to not through that, using Park Drive. That's the shortcut.
I like the roundabout.
I like it too.
Yeah, so anyway. So, question. I'm not sure I like these. What about a raised table?
I don't personally don't like them,
Well, I didn't say I liked it.
but,
Isn't that a plowing disaster?
Well, we're seeing more and more that was put in the town to over on River Road.
Like, what are those speed bumps? Are they gonna come out during the winter? Somebody told me they take them out
Which one?
winter.
No,
They stay.
I said River.
But how do they plow that?
Careful,
Yes, the plow.
Brunswick's got it.
And the lighted thing, isn't that one broken down by Curtis Overy's office? It doesn't work anymore. I don't think that lights up anymore.
I don't know.
It used to. So,
I think the original installation.
okay.
And it has. been broken. Some of the solar ones seem to be pretty good.
So,
But-
the other thing is, just it came to mind. And again, I really do like those things, and I don't know how many miles of sidewalk I built between Mallett and all the other projects, so I'm totally pro pedestrian. And someday I'd like the neighbors from Mallett Woods to be able to walk to get a Starbucks coffee. Said several times as an example, but Don, do you remember the traffic count that they
Traffic
did?
study.
And John Larson was hellbent about all the different things that we wanted to do with crossings and everything. And I think they had one person promise that particular day that they did the traffic count. So, I mean, I hope pedestrian traffic, and listen, I want to make these 80 units, walkable to Market Basket. And actually Market Basket's calling me going, hey, when are they gonna be done? Because we want our employees to live close to the store. So I'm certainly all about it, but I actually found that traffic report and was looking through that, and you know, like I said, it was a really small number. It was like one, I think. They counted that particular day.
Well,
That was actually my question for you, Dan, was when are these gonna be done?
Well, so, I was asking Chris if I was gonna elaborate on that. And I'm perfectly happy to give you the update here. You know, in my 30 years, I've never been in a position and felt like a dog chasing my tail with financing. And I've always had 2 or 3 banks standing right there going, hey, you know, and I'm taking my pick. So last year, August 11th, a year ago, I signed a deal with HUD for a 221D4 loan program. At that particular time, the interest rate they were going to give me was 5.89%. I had a Wednesday underwriting meeting all summer and fall. I finally got approval just before Christmas. And it was a 3-step approval, but they said, we love your project, bring it on. By the time I get into spring, April, and having 5 meetings every Wednesday at 2 o'clock, the interest rate had gone to 6.45. And not only that, but the down payment doubled, and they didn't want me to use the land as collateral. So right now, I'm back to my friends, the savings and loans, the 3 or 4 different banks that I'm using. And we sent the appraisal out yesterday. To be done in 4 weeks. And so hopefully building prices, I think, are starting to moderate a little bit. And between that and like the jobs report just came out, which might force the feds to not come down a quarter, maybe hopefully a half. We're September. We're hoping that timing is going to be perfect to get in the ground with at least that first one. And if, you know, my bank's pushing me to do 2. And if we get real numbers and nothing happens globally that would derail that, we'll go right in the ground with this and obviously keep going. So thanks, guys.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for asking. Okay, so on the, I don't want to belabor too much. Is there something we can do with that crosswalk?
I'd like to really figure out how much this is gonna cost. And so we can research it. As long as it's reasonably priced, maybe he would accept it and do it. But I don't want to mandate it unless you require it.
And do we have a feel for the traffic count on Park? I mean, I don't think it's anything like Topsham.
It's not even close. And we do have those numbers. We had to do them. We did the traffic report here with
For the bigger.
yeah, well, we did it for Park Drive. And we've got a traffic impact fee that we're paying, but it's so much a unit, so like $1,800 a unit.
Right, and well, I think
1,800 per building. Right. And then like 6,500 for the conservation.
And when you had discussions with different groups within the town, nobody.
No one, oh, then, no.
no one's brought it up.
Yes, where are you at on that?
Well, not to upset Chris and Dan, but I'd be inclined to table this to our next meeting in order to get a better handle on that. I was kind of hoping that maybe you found out in our last meeting.
Well, I'm working on that too, but yeah.
I told you, Chris, tell us how much.
Well, I'd love to see.
No, I didn't.
You know, get somebody to tell me if this is gonna be,
Yeah.
how much.
How does the rest report?
I'd like to see it go lower.
I'm wondering if we could do some kind of condition, like, for town staff to come to an agreeable solution for this one. That would provide new time to look at expenses and the town to be, potentially be a part of those expenses. Since, we are talking about town doing the rest of the sidewalk. Don't know if that's we can put that kind of condition on the town.
To your point. And I don't remember any specifics. But I was sort of now, and on all this stuff, but with some of the aroma just stuff, because it's pretty significant. And, both specific to that property, but the entrance on Minor Way, so I think there was some, I don't know if it came from MDOT or whatever, some town district that came up with some funding to help cover some of that. I had no idea what the specifics are. Maybe talk to town staff and, town manager may know because I think he was the assistant town manager at the time, but it might be worth checking out to Scott's point. See if there's something there.
We have to look into it, it's a condition of approval, as long as it's not a mandate and it's reasonable, yeah.
So,
I don't wanna,
why don't we try a condition, well, I'm sorry,
Why don't we see, let me get to the third building and see how the flow of pedestrian traffic is. And then we can see whether it's worth putting that in there then. But wait till they, at least the third building up, and see how the foot traffic with the vehicle traffic. And if it warrants it to do it, then we'll see about putting the.
I mean, certainly if it ever became a safety risk or hazard, I wouldn't want to say no to it, but maybe there's a way that I could share in the cost with the town.
and I think that's.
And, maybe I throw $5,000 in a fund or something,
I mean,
I think there's about 20 grand to put them in. We did one at Sherwin-Williams.
and you're talking about like a raised thing or what?
Well, no,
You don't have these lights.
I'm just talking the lights.
The lights.
Yeah.
So right now,
Where
you're
someone
looking at
pushes
just
a
a painted cross.
Crosswalk with flashing light.
I mean,
It's so.
can you always add to that? I mean, can you just do the minimal and get the buildings in and then
Yeah.
see how it goes?
To be honest with you, there's no raised sidewalk in front of Sherwin-Williams going to the cinema, right? And that's a lot more severe situation.
Right, that's what I'm saying, I mean, why not do what you
Oh, I-
normally do?
I wasn't pushing for raise, but I don't.
No, but even lights, like are they really needed or is a painted crosswalk going to work with signs and? I don't know. I'm not a crosswalk expert.
Well,
So,
there's two parts of the traffic. One is, of course, Melville Woods. So you're gonna end up with more traffic coming down the drive, down to Park. So that's one area for traffic. You're gonna have more people coming out of the buildings as you build them.
Right.
And they're putting traffic into Park Drive, probably headed down to Topsham Fair Mall Road. So I'm just thinking in terms of where it is right now, maybe not a lot of traffic, a little bit of paint on the pavement is fine.
Yeah.
But, you're asking for essentially finding a site plan. And, this is the time to have that figured out for the future. I mean,
well, he's asking for an amendment to a plan that has already been passed.
well, which the
And
finals,
it's-
finals like all on the same side as the units and Goodwill, so you're asking for an amendment. Right?
I would be curious to know how many other of these were either recommended or mandated in the rest of the town. I'm thinking of places like Forsyth, where soccer is crazy every Saturday. They don't have those.
They do
Do they now? I mean, that's what I don't know where they are.
Yeah.
If that's like busy area, I don't know.
We're starting to do,
I don't know whether,
Well,
we have them on Main Street now, we have, so we have other areas, so.
so a lot of the, not foresight, but a lot of the new changes you've seen came as a result of market. Really significant offsite and dot package that they agreed to.
and not to mention, next month, we're gonna be back again from Mallwood. You know that, but it's on the agenda. The 12th grade, Josh, of the last phase.
So we can put this on the Mallet Wood.
So, well, you know, maybe to whoever's point, maybe it's a collective thing. Like you say, by the time the last building's built, maybe we should have them standing there and, you know, by the time half of Mallet Woods is phase 4.
So question for you.
Works, but
Basically, before I'll make this. If, let's say if this is put onto the next agenda, does that hold you up at all with regard to
Well,
banks approvals?
yeah,
and
I mean,
Stuff like that. In other words, are they looking to say, oh,
yeah,
this is the amendment?
well, I'll say, when I spoke with Josh several weeks ago, it was pretty adamant that I was trying to get this approval done in August, and I'm trying to get a foundation in. So, and I get a month's worth of site work, and then, you know, I don't want to be in full weather conditions. And like I said before, this first building, you know, for $5 million, been like a dog chasing my tail. So if there's any way I could, you know, backload the cost on the third and fourth building, that would be a lot easier than the first and second. So,
So you got to be trying to motion sooner.
yeah, I mean, I'm open to any and all suggestions. Let's get it. But, right now, I'm just going to be out for 10 staff to address potential safety issues associated with the crosswalk. So that doesn't have any details, which I don't know is good with you. It's good with you.
yeah.
But I think it gets the point across, and that our expectation and hope is that something can happen between you guys and the town to address that if needed.
And I'll tell you right now, I'd certainly share on it. I don't know what the cost is, but I would certainly share on it. And especially if I could, you know, get the first building and, like you said, Lawrence, you know, kind of monitor it from the third and fourth building or second, third and fourth.
Yeah, I was just wondering, to Ron's point, that if you were just making, is there a way to say anything about time facing in there? You know, phase one, building one, phase one. Obviously can move forward, but maybe when we start at 2 or 3. It needs to be,
To say, you know, return to us phase 3 or 4.
I was gonna say, yeah, the tricky part with that is that
is it
what
what
we approve,
right? What's
right,
the
are we
enforceability?
approving or
We already did.
We already
We already
did,
did.
yeah, we already did, we already have
This is just,
this amendment.
it's already fine. We just amend
Yeah, we approved all.
And the shared cost could be a lot of different entities. Right? I mean, you're saying Mallet Woods, but there's also other businesses on that. road as well, and, you know, so how do you, why, I mean,
They gave us authority to collect stuff. Maybe we can collect from them too.
well, that's what I'm,
Did I say that on
it's not
TV?
really. Yeah, he's on one business on that road, and yes, it's gonna have a lot of impact because of the people living there. There's also other people gonna be using that, it's not just the, so.
Well, it is Mallett Woods and their goodwill and this that are
Which is,
really the point.
that is the, and actually having the whole market. Again. Which is a smart move.
Well, it's the whole neighborhood, not just Mallet. It's the neighbors above, the kids are riding their bike down through there.
Right.
You know, they're coming up towards the school.
Mallet Drive.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, Mallet Drive, Mallet Woods.
Every same time.
yeah. So
Will you say that?
ideally, we all want to see that
You know, Hannaford would like to put a sign that says no left
That's
turn.
right, Sharon. Maybe the towns, Mark indicated that they had some money to finish that connection to Market Basket, and maybe there's some money to, you know, that we share a lighted signal.
Well, yeah, it does. Can we put into a condition like that? That
Now, on the other end,
that
what is that sidewalk?
recommendation would be to put in, because the peer reviewer didn't.
No, it stops right at Town Fair Tire.
Recommended that I town work
Stops right there,
the applicant.
and it's been
Work
a
towards
dead
a
end.
solution. It's recommended it for the
I
solution,
remember when
not to
we
simple
built
from a
Park
crosswalk. flashing lights.
Drive.
Yeah.
We did the same thing, we traveled the sidewalk.
Right, as the development.
So you remember, it was the start of TDI,
Yeah.
were
Yeah,
those
that's-
first 5 or 6 lots.
Yeah.
So that was the
Say,
town.
I do want that, an approval that satisfies. You engineer.
Yeah, that's why you put it in text. But you understand the intent. it's trying to happen.
Exactly.
Yes. And I
All right.
understand
how's
your
this
point,
one?
but if we could do something to keep this moving, I think we should.
I agree.
But the applicant will work with town staff to address potential safety issues associated with crosswalk and park drive, such as a flashing crossing sign as the project progresses. So that provides a timeline that will be done right away. You know, work something out.
Did you have the word shared in there?
Or potential shared cost,
Shared,
maybe potential shared cost.
I mean,
Is it work?
I contributed to.
Yeah. No, well, we know you have.
Yeah.
When you put it in the movie there.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that, when you put it in the other side,
Sharon Williams.
you basically did kind of the first phase of that traffic study, which I think it worked out. But that was collaborative effort. You and something. Does that work, Scott? Larry?
How about the applicant will work with town staff in a collaborative way.
Okay.
Well, that's, you know, collaborating work-wise, so specify. How about I make a motion? That's what we're discussing.
No other discussion, we good?
No, I think we're. I didn't know if we needed to have anything saying, you know, planning board retains jurisdiction if there's, you know, town staff is totally unreasonable.
You didn't hear what he said, right?
You're gonna get another bite at the apple. September 12th.
Yeah, just wait till the conditions I put all out.
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
You better take that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Scott.
Go ahead, Scott. Thank you, Marcia.
I move the site plan amendment application for Park Drive, tax map 05, lot 21D18 and 21D19, having met the applicable standards, of site plan review ordinance, chapter 175, the zoning ordinance, chapter 225, be approved with staff recommended conditions, findings identified in staff dated August 22nd, 2024, with an additional number 16 condition that the applicant will work with town staff collaboratively to address potential safety issues associated with crosswalk park drive, such as flashing crossing signs, as the project progresses.
Second.
Discussion?
Who seconded it?
Larry.
Thank you.
All right, hearing, seeing none, all in favor? All right, it's unanimous. Thank you. All right, thank you. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So.